1964 Lincoln Penny 1-cent coin. The 1964 Lincoln penny exists at a turning point in American history, a year defined by cultural change, economic expansion, and rising pressure on the nation's coinage system. By the mid-1960s, the United States was experiencing a growing shortage of circulating coins. Inflation was creeping upward, silver prices were rising dangerously close to face value, and the public was hoarding coins at an unprecedented rate. While pennies were not silver, they were still deeply affected by this environment, and the 1964 Lincoln cent became one of the most heavily produced yet deceptively complex coins of the era. The design of the 1964 Lincoln penny remains the familiar Lincoln Memorial reverse, introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. On the obverse, Victor David Brenner's portrait of Lincoln continues to dominate, now paired with sharper mid-century engraving techniques. Lincoln faces right, with "I in God we trust" arcing above his head, liberty to the left, and the date 1964 to the right. On many examples, especially those struck early in the year, the details of Lincoln's hair, coat, and cheek are crisp and well-defined. As production intensified, later strikes often show softness in these same areas due to dye wear. The reverse features the Lincoln Memorial, with its iconic columns and the tiny seated statue of Lincoln visible between them when struck sharply. This miniature statue is one of the most important diagnostic features collectors examine. Weak strikes often obscure the statue entirely, while strong strikes reveal clear separation in the columns and a defined central figure. The words "United States of America" and 1 cent frame the design, with "E pluribus unum" placed above the memorial. Mintage for the 1964 Lincoln penny was enormous. The Philadelphia Mint alone struck over 2 billion cents, while the Denver Mint added more than 3 billion of its own, identifiable by the D Mint mark beneath the date. These staggering numbers make 1964 one of the highest mintage penny years in U.S. history. On the surface, that would suggest little collector value, but mintage figures tell only part of the story. What makes the 1964 Lincoln penny truly compelling is condition rarity and error potential. Because these coins were produced at such high speed, quality control suffered. Dies were pushed far beyond their ideal lifespan, leading to weak strikes, die cracks, cuds, and doubling. High-grade examples with full red original luster are far scarcer than mintage totals imply, especially for Denver issues, which frequently show contact marks and strike weakness. One of the most valuable varieties associated with the 1964 penny is the double die obverse. True double dies from this year show clear, rounded doubling in the lettering of "I in God we trust," liberty, and sometimes the date. These are not subtle varieties. Strong examples can be seen without magnification. Authentic double die 1964 pennies are rare, and high-grade examples have sold for thousands of dollars at auction. Another highly prized error is the re-punched mint mark on 1964 D pennies. During this era, mint marks were punched into working dies by hand, and misalignments were common. Some 1964 D cents show a clear secondary D beneath or beside the primary mint mark. These varieties are avidly collected, and sharp examples command strong premiums, especially in mint state. Off-center strikes, broad strikes, and clipped planchets are also known for the 1964 issue. Dramatic off-center strikes that retain a full date and mint mark can easily exceed $1,000, while broad strikes with full rims and strong detail are popular among era collectors. Market value for the 1964 Lincoln penny varies dramatically. Circulated examples are typically worth face value or slightly more, but uncirculated coins tell a different story. An MS-65 red example can sell for $20 to $50, while MS-67 red coins can exceed $1,000. The rarest MS-68 red examples have achieved prices well into the 5-figure range, driven by registry set competition and extreme condition rarity. Collector interest in the 1964 Lincoln penny remains strong because it represents the peak of pre-crisis copper coinage. Just a few years later, the mint would fundamentally change how coins were made and distributed. For collectors, the 1964 penny is not just common pocket change. It is a snapshot of a system stretched to its limits, and that tension is exactly what makes it valuable. 1983 Lincoln Penny 1-cent coin. The 1983 Lincoln penny is one of the most important modern coins ever struck, not because of its appearance, but because of what it represents beneath the surface. This coin was produced during one of the most dramatic transitions in U.S. coinage history, when the mint abandoned nearly 2 centuries of copper-based cents in favor of zinc-based planchets. The result was confusion, errors, and some of the most valuable modern pennies known today. By 1982, the rising price of copper had made producing traditional copper pennies economically unsustainable. In response, the mint switched to a copper-plated zinc composition, consisting of a zinc core with a thin copper coating. The transition was not clean. Multiple varieties were struck, old planchets mixed with new ones, and dies were used interchangeably. By 1983, the mint believed the transition was complete, and all cents were officially copper-plated zinc. The design of the 1983 Lincoln penny remains the Lincoln Memorial reverse, unchanged since 1959. On the obverse, Lincoln's portrait appears slightly different in texture compared to earlier copper cents. Zinc planchets do not strike the same way as copper, often producing softer detail and a different surface sheen. The reverse memorial also tends to show less sharpness, especially in the columns and the statue of Lincoln. Mintage for the 1983 Lincoln penny was massive, with over 7 billion coins struck between the Philadelphia and Denver mints. No mint marks appear on Philadelphia coins, while Denver issues carry the D beneath the date. With numbers like these, most people assume 1983 pennies are worthless, and most of them are. But one extraordinary mistake changed everything. The most famous and valuable modern penny error is the 1983 copper penny. A small number of cents were accidentally struck on leftover 95% copper planchets from 1982. These coins look identical to normal pennies, but they weigh significantly more, approximately 3.11 grams compared to the standard 2.5 grams of zinc cents. Because the mint officially ended copper cent production in 1982, any genuine 1983 copper penny is a major rarity. Authentic examples of the 1983 copper penny are extraordinarily scarce. Fewer than a dozen are confirmed to exist. When one appears at auction, it becomes an instant headline. Prices regularly exceed $20,000, and pristine examples have approached or surpassed $30,000. These coins are the holy grail of modern Lincoln cent collecting. Beyond the copper planchet error, the 1983 Lincoln penny is also known for dramatic die deterioration. Because zinc planchets are harder on dies, many 1983 cents show extensive die erosion, particularly on the obverse. These so-called die deterioration doubling coins show ghostly, shelf-like doubling on lettering and Lincoln's profile. While not true doubled dies, extreme examples are collectible and can command premiums. True double die varieties also exist for 1983, though they are far rarer. These coins show clean, rounded doubling, most often visible in the motto and date. High-grade examples are aggressively sought after and can sell for thousands of dollars. Another major issue with 1983 pennies is zinc rot. Because the copper plating is thin, damage to the surface can allow moisture to reach the zinc core, causing bubbling, swelling, and eventual disintegration. Ironically, pristine examples that avoided this degradation are becoming scarcer every year, increasing demand for high-grade survivors. Market value for the 1983 Lincoln penny spans an enormous range. Circulated zinc cents are typically worth face value, but uncirculated red examples can sell for $10 to $50. MS-67 red coins are scarce and can exceed $1,000. The legendary 1983 copper penny stands in a class of its own, with values that rival classic gold coins. Collector interest in the 1983 Lincoln penny is driven by awareness. As more collectors learn how to weigh and test their coins, interest continues to grow. This penny represents the end of an era, the final break from traditional copper coinage, and the mistakes made during that transition created one of the most valuable modern U.S. coins ever discovered. Together, the 1964 and 1983 Lincoln pennies prove that rarity is not limited to the distant past. Value is born from change, pressure, and human error. These are not ancient relics. They are modern witnesses to economic reality, and for collectors who know what to look for, they are proof that history can still be hiding in plain sight, 1 cent at a time. 1964, D. Lincoln Penny 1-cent coin. Now we turn to the Denver Mint issue, the 1964 D. Lincoln Penny, and this coin tells an even more dramatic story. In response to the national coin shortage, the Denver Mint went into overdrive. The result was one of the highest mintages for a single-cent coin in American history. The Denver Mint struck over 3.7 billion Lincoln cents in 1964. That staggering number makes it one of the most heavily produced 1-cent coins ever. The small D mint mark beneath the date identifies this coin as being struck in Denver. Like its Philadelphia counterpart, the 1964 D features Brenner's Lincoln portrait on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial reverse designed by Gasparo. Composition remains 95% copper, giving the coin intrinsic metal value, and that rich copper tone collectors appreciate. Because production demands were so extreme, quality once again varied. Many 1964 D pennies display weak strikes, heavy contact marks, and inconsistent luster. Coins were produced rapidly to flood the economy with small change. As a result, gem-quality survivors are much harder to find than the mintage suggests. In circulated grades, the 1964 D penny is common and typically worth only a few cents. However, the story changes dramatically in high mint state. MS-65 red examples are collectible and affordable, but MS-66 red coins command higher premiums. In MS-67 red condition, the population drops significantly, and values can climb into the thousands depending on certification and eye appeal. One of the most important factors for 1964 D Lincoln pennies is strike quality. Collectors look closely at Lincoln's hair detail, cheek, and jawline, as well as the steps and columns of the Lincoln Memorial. A sharply struck example with minimal abrasions is far more desirable. Error coins from the Denver Mint add another layer of excitement. Repunched mint marks are highly collectible for this year. Because mint marks were still punched into dies by hand in 1964, slight misalignments could create a doubled appearance of the D. Clear repunched mint mark varieties can command strong premiums, especially in high grade. Double dies are also known for 1964 D cents. Though often minor, certain varieties show noticeable doubling in the lettering and date. Collectors study die variety references carefully to attribute these coins correctly. Off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and broad strikes are additional collectible errors from 1964 D production. Given the massive output, it's not surprising that mint errors occurred, and dramatic examples are highly sought after today. Another fascinating area involves special mint set, like specimens. Although official special mint sets did not begin until 1965, some 1964 pennies display unusually sharp detail and satin-like surfaces. These are sometimes referred to as SMS-style coins and can be very valuable if authenticated. The 1964 D Lincoln penny also represents the end of an era in American coinage. Beginning in 1965, the mint temporarily removed mint marks from coins to discourage hoarding and speculation. That makes 1964 the final year before mint marks disappeared for several years. For collectors, this adds historical importance. From an investment perspective, the 1964 D penny offers opportunity in top grades. Registry competition drives demand for the finest known examples. Coins graded MS-67 red or higher can achieve impressive auction results, far exceeding what most people would imagine for a common date penny. Ultimately, the 1964 and 1964 D Lincoln pennies prove that rarity is not always about low mintage. Sometimes rarity is about survival in exceptional condition. Billions were struck, but only a tiny fraction remain as pristine, blazing red gems worthy of top registry sets. These coins capture a pivotal moment in American history, the final year before major changes in U.S. coin composition, the height of a national coin shortage, and a country standing at the edge of transformation. For collectors, they represent both accessibility and challenge. You can find them easily in circulation, yet locating a flawless example can take years. 1982 D Lincoln Penny 1-cent coin. The 1982 D Lincoln penny is one of the most important transition coins in United States numismatic history, and its story begins with crisis. By the early 1980s, the rising cost of copper had become a serious problem for the U.S. Mint. Inflation, global metal demand, and economic instability pushed the intrinsic value of a copper cent dangerously close to, and sometimes beyond, its face value. Producing pennies at a loss was no longer sustainable, and the mint was forced into one of the most dramatic composition changes since World War II. In 1982, the Lincoln cent officially transitioned from the traditional 95% copper alloy to a zinc core with a thin copper plating. What makes this year extraordinary is that the change did not happen cleanly. Instead, 1982 became a chaotic overlap year with multiple compositions, multiple die styles, and multiple varieties, all produced simultaneously. No other single year in modern U.S. coinage contains as many collectible Lincoln cent varieties as 1982. The Denver Mint played a critical role in this transition. The 1982 D. Lincoln penny was struck exclusively with the large date style, and officially, all Denver issues were supposed to be zinc-based. But numismatics is built on what actually happened, not what was supposed to happen. And what happened inside the Denver Mint in 1982 created one of the rarest modern pennies ever discovered. The standard 1982 D. Lincoln cent features Abraham Lincoln's familiar bust, designed by Victor David Brenner, facing right with strong shoulder definition and softened facial contours compared to earlier decades. The large date style is immediately recognizable, with thick numerals and a slightly curved top on the number 2. In God We Trust arches above Lincoln's head, Liberty sits behind him, and the D Mint mark appears below the date, punched with consistent clarity on most examples. The reverse still displays the Lincoln Memorial, introduced in 1959. The columns are bold, the steps defined, and when struck well, the tiny seated statue of Lincoln inside the memorial can be clearly seen. This design, created by Frank Gasparo, had by 1982 become deeply embedded in American daily life, appearing on billions of coins circulating nationwide. Most 1982 D. Lincoln pennies you encounter today are zinc cents weighing approximately 2.5 grams. They often show bubbling, edge splits, or surface corrosion as the thin copper plating deteriorates over time. These coins are common and carry little premium in circulated condition. But hidden among them is an anomaly so rare that its discovery rewrote modern Lincoln cent collecting. A small number of 1982 D. Lincoln pennies were struck on leftover copper planchets, weighing approximately 3.11 grams. These coins were never meant to exist. Officially, the Denver Mint had fully transitioned to zinc, yet at least a few copper blanks remained in the system and were struck with 1982 D dies, producing a transitional error of extreme rarity. Only a handful of authentic 1982 D copper cents are confirmed today, making this one of the rarest post-1960 U.S. coins. The difference is not visible to the naked eye, which is why so many were likely spent unnoticed. The key diagnostic is weight. A genuine copper 1982 D cent weighs over 3 grams and does not exhibit the hollow sound or magnetic behavior of zinc cents. When the first confirmed example surfaced, it sent shockwaves through the numismatic community. Modern pennies were never supposed to rival classic rarities, yet this coin instantly joined that elite category. Certified examples have sold for tens of thousands of dollars, with prices escalating rapidly as awareness spreads. High-grade specimens with clean surfaces and strong strikes have exceeded $50,000 at auction, and experts believe prices could climb even higher as demand outpaces supply. Beyond composition errors, the 1982 D. Lincoln cent also attracts collectors for its role in defining the large date versus small date distinction, even though Denver struck only the large date. This distinction matters because it highlights how rapidly the mint was adjusting dies, tooling, and production standards during the transition. The year represents controlled chaos, a moment where efficiency and experimentation collided. Collector interest in the 1982 D. Lincoln penny is intense and multi-layered. For error collectors, it is a holy grail modern discovery. For type collectors, it marks the end of nearly 80 years of traditional copper cents. For roll hunters, it represents hope, proof that valuable coins are not confined to the distant past. Market value for standard zinc examples remains minimal, but copper transitional errors occupy an entirely different universe. Even circulated copper examples command staggering prices, and uncirculated pieces with original surfaces are aggressively pursued by elite collectors and registry competitors. Authentication is critical, as altered coins and false claims are common, but genuine specimens are unmistakable once verified. The 1982 D. Lincoln penny stands as a reminder that some of the most valuable coins are born not from design changes or commemorations, but from mistakes made during moments of pressure. It is a modern legend, a quiet cent that became a numismatic giant. 1983 D. Lincoln penny 1-cent coin. The 1983 D. Lincoln penny continues the story, but with a different kind of mystery. By 1983, the mint had fully adopted zinc planchets for Lincoln cents. Copper cents were officially gone. The system was stabilized, procedures refined, and production normalized. Or so it seemed. At first glance, the 1983 D. Lincoln cent appears completely ordinary. Lincoln's portrait remains unchanged, with a slightly sharper strike than many late 1970s examples. The date 1983 appears in the standard style, with the D mint mark clearly visible beneath it. The reverse Lincoln memorial is clean, bold, and consistent with early 1980s minting quality. Millions upon millions of these coins entered circulation, and for years, collectors dismissed them as common filler. But as with many numismatic stories, time revealed something extraordinary hiding beneath the surface. In 1983, the Denver Mint struck cents exclusively on zinc planchets weighing approximately 2.5 grams. There was no official overlap, no planned transition, and no expectation of copper cents being produced. Yet, against all odds, a small number of 1983 D. Lincoln pennies have been discovered struck on copper planchets. These coins should not exist. Unlike 1982, there was no reason for copper blanks to be present in the system. Their existence suggests that leftover planchets from the previous year somehow survived inventory checks, storage transfers, and production audits. When struck with 1983 D dies, they created one of the most controversial and valuable modern mint errors known. Authentic 1983 D copper cents weigh approximately 3.11 grams, display the rich tone of solid copper, and lack the telltale edge seen often visible on zinc cents. They are extremely rare. Even fewer are known than the already elusive 1982 D copper cents. When verified examples surfaced, collectors initially reacted with skepticism, but metallurgical testing and third-party certification confirmed their authenticity. These coins are now recognized as among the rarest Lincoln memorial cents ever produced. Auction records tell the story of their impact. Circulated examples have sold for over $20,000. Higher-grade specimens push far beyond that, with pristine examples achieving prices that rival classic key-date coins from the early 20th century. As awareness grows, competition for these coins has intensified, driving values steadily upward. Beyond composition errors, the 1983 D. Lincoln cent is also known for dramatic die errors. One of the most famous varieties is the 1983 double die reverse, where strong doubling appears on E pluribus unum, United States of America, and 1 cent. This error is bold, easily visible, and highly collectible, commanding significant premiums even in circulated condition. Strike quality on 1983 D cents is generally strong, but full details on the memorial steps and columns add desirability. Coins with clean surfaces and minimal zinc rut are increasingly scarce as time takes its toll on plated planchets. Collector interest in the 1983 D. Lincoln penny has surged as modern era collecting gains legitimacy. Once dismissed as pocket change, these coins now occupy registry slots alongside historic rarities. For younger collectors, they represent a gateway into serious numismatics. For seasoned experts, they challenge long-held assumptions about modern mint control. The market for 1983 D. Lincoln cents is sharply divided. Common zinc examples remain plentiful, but copper errors and major double dies occupy a premium tier with strong long-term potential. As fewer examples remain undiscovered, the supply continues to tighten. Together, the 1982 D and 1983 D. Lincoln pennies redefine what rarity looks like in the modern era. They prove that history does not always announce itself with fanfare. Sometimes, it slips quietly into circulation, waiting decades for someone to weigh it, study it, and realize that a single cent can carry a story worth a fortune. 1990 D. Lincoln Penny 1-cent coin. The 1990 D. Lincoln penny is a coin that represents more than just a small denomination in U.S. currency. It's a snapshot of modern minting during the late 20th century, a period when coin collecting was enjoying renewed popularity. Minted at the Denver facility, indicated by the D mint mark beneath the date, the 1990 D penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial Series, which ran from 1959 to 2008. This series was designed to honor Abraham Lincoln's legacy and the 150th anniversary of his birth, replacing the wheat penny design that had been in circulation for nearly 50 years. The obverse of the 1990 D. Lincoln penny features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, originally designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909 for the centennial of Lincoln's birth. Even though the design was over 80 years old by 1990, it retained remarkable detail and precision, with Lincoln's stern expression, high forehead, and neatly combed hair capturing his stately presence. Collectors examine the obverse closely for the sharpness of the strike, the clarity of liberty and in God we trust, and the visibility of the date. Minor variations in striking depth or alignment can differentiate a common circulated coin from a collectible gem. The reverse, which had been updated in 1959, features the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., replacing the wheat ears of earlier designs. The memorial is rendered in precise detail, with the columns, stairs, and even the tiny statue of Lincoln visible upon close inspection. Around the edges, United States of America and the denomination 1 cent frame the design. Collectors often examine the reverse for die variations, polishing lines, and other mint anomalies that can make a coin more valuable. Mintage numbers for the 1990 D. Lincoln penny are substantial, with over 6 billion coins produced at the Denver Mint alone. While this is an enormous number, the coin's value for collectors does not rely on scarcity alone. Instead, it is a combination of condition, mint errors, and varieties that make certain 1990 D pennies highly sought after. Most of these coins were intended for everyday circulation, and therefore, uncirculated specimens, or those with original mint luster, are considerably rarer. Market value for the 1990 D. Lincoln penny varies widely depending on condition. Circulated examples are generally worth just a few cents to $1, reflecting their common use in commerce. However, coins in extremely fine or uncirculated condition, graded MS-63, MS-65, can command $10 to $25 or more. Certain error coins, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or repunched mint marks, are even more valuable. For example, a 1990 D penny with a doubled die obverse, where the date or lettering appears doubled, can sell for hundreds of dollars at auction. These errors are rare but highly prized among advanced collectors and error coin specialists. Errors and varieties in the 1990 D. Lincoln penny are particularly interesting. Doubled die coins occur when the die used to strike the coin has a misaligned image, producing a doubling effect in letters or numerals. Off-center strikes happen when the planchet is not properly aligned with the die, resulting in a portion of the design being missing. Other anomalies include die cracks, die clashes, and repunched mint marks, which are subtle but highly collectible. These variations often become the centerpiece of a specialized collection focused on modern Lincoln pennies. Collector interest in the 1990 D. Lincoln penny is fueled by both historical context and numismatic appeal. As one of the coins produced during the height of the Lincoln Memorial Series, it represents a transitional period in U.S. minting, bridging older designs with more modern techniques. Beginners find it approachable because circulated coins are inexpensive, while advanced collectors seek out pristine examples and notable errors. The coin also serves as an excellent representation of Denver mint quality, showcasing the meticulous standards of late 20th century U.S. coinage. In summary, the 1990 D. Lincoln penny is more than a 1-cent piece. It's a tangible piece of American history, a testament to minting artistry, and a collectible item that can range from a simple addition to a beginner's album to a prized possession for seasoned collectors. Its combination of design, historical relevance, and potential for valuable errors makes it an essential coin for anyone serious about Lincoln pennies. 1991 D. Lincoln Penny 1-cent coin. The 1991 D. Lincoln Penny continues the story of the Lincoln Memorial Series, minted in Denver and featuring the D. mint mark. By 1991, the Lincoln Penny had been in circulation in its memorial reverse design for over 3 decades. While the coin's basic design remained unchanged, the 1991 D issue is notable for its minting quality, subtle die variations, and the continued interest from collectors seeking pristine examples and error coins. On the obverse, Lincoln's portrait retains the dignity and detail of Victor David Brenner's original 1909 design. Close inspection reveals the contours of Lincoln's cheekbones, the strands of hair, and the precise lettering of Liberty and In God We Trust. Minor differences in strike sharpness, alignment, and die polishing can make certain coins stand out to collectors. Even slight deviations in the date's appearance can influence value, particularly among error-seeking numismatists. The reverse features the Lincoln Memorial, meticulously rendered with its columns, steps, and central statue of Lincoln visible in fine details. The inscriptions United States of America and 1 cent frame the design and are closely examined for doubling, die cracks, or other anomalies. Many collectors pay special attention to the spacing of letters, the depth of the design, and any irregularities in the columns or steps of the memorial, as these can indicate rare minting errors. Mintage for the 1991 D. Lincoln Penny was enormous, exceeding 4.7 billion coins. Such a high number makes the coin common in circulated condition, but finding examples with original mint luster or in uncirculated condition is increasingly rare. The massive production does not diminish collector interest. Instead, it focuses attention on quality, strike, and any unique error characteristics that can distinguish a coin from the millions of others minted that year. Market value for the 1991 D. Lincoln Penny depends largely on condition and the presence of mint errors. Circulated coins are typically worth only a few cents, reflecting their abundance. Coins in extremely fine condition may fetch $1 to $5, while uncirculated examples can command $15 to $40 or more. Certain varieties, such as double die obverse coins or off-center strikes, can dramatically increase in value. Double die coins, where the date or lettering appears noticeably doubled, are particularly prized and can sell for hundreds of dollars, depending on grade and visual appeal. Errors and varieties for the 1991 D. Lincoln Penny are a key focus for collectors. Double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, and die clashes are all possibilities. Even subtle die polishing lines or variations in the mint mark can elevate a coin's desirability. Modern Lincoln pennies like the 1991 D offer a wealth of opportunities for collectors to study minting techniques, spot anomalies, and add rare examples to their collections. Collector interest in the 1991 D. Lincoln Penny is fueled by several factors. First, it represents the Denver Mint's output during a significant period of modern coinage. Second, it offers both affordability for beginners and a challenge for advanced collectors seeking uncirculated or error coins. Third, its design continuity connects collectors with a long-standing tradition, bridging the past and the present. Many numismatists enjoy comparing the 1991 D with previous and subsequent years, noting subtle differences in die preparation, strike quality, and minting errors. In conclusion, the 1991 D. Lincoln Penny 1-cent coin is more than a common circulation coin. It's a piece of numismatic history, a collectible treasure, and a key component of any modern Lincoln Penny collection. Its combination of design precision, historical relevance, and potential for valuable minting errors makes it an essential coin for collectors, whether they are just beginning their journey or are seasoned experts. From ordinary circulated examples to pristine uncirculated specimens, the 1991 D offers a tangible connection to the artistry and history of U.S. coinage. 1993 D. Lincoln Penny 1-cent coin. The 1993 D. Lincoln Penny is a remarkable coin for collectors, not necessarily because of extreme rarity, but because it represents a unique period in U.S. coinage where mint errors and high-quality uncirculated coins became highly sought after. Struck at the Denver Mint, as denoted by the D. mint mark, this coin is part of the Lincoln Memorial Series that ran from 1959 to 2008. By the early 1990s, collectors were increasingly interested in modern coins, both for their historical relevance and the potential for discovering anomalies that could significantly increase value. The obverse of the 1993 D features the enduring portrait of Abraham Lincoln, originally designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909. Lincoln's profile is meticulously detailed, with a well-defined cheekbone, finely combed hair, and his trademark, solemn expression. The inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date, 1993, are sharply defined on most specimens. Collectors pay particular attention to these features, as minor variations in strike quality, alignment, or die polishing can distinguish a standard circulation coin from a highly collectible example. The reverse of the 1993 D continues the Lincoln Memorial design, with the building's columns, steps, and Lincoln statue carefully rendered. The inscriptions "United States of America" and 1 cent frame the design. Numismatists often examine the reverse for minor anomalies, such as die cracks, die clashes, or doubling, all of which can elevate the coin's value. Because the Lincoln Memorial design is intricate, even small variations in the lines of the columns or the lettering can make a coin interesting to collectors. Mintage numbers for the 1993 D Lincoln penny were approximately 5.2 billion coins, making it one of the more common Denver-minted coins of the decade. However, its abundance in circulation does not diminish its value for collectors, as modern coin collecting focuses heavily on quality and errors. Coins in uncirculated condition with full mint luster are increasingly rare because most of these pennies were used in everyday transactions, leading to scratches, wear, and loss of detail. Market value for the 1993 D Lincoln penny varies widely depending on condition and rarity. Circulated coins are typically worth only a few cents, making them accessible for beginners. Coins in extremely fine or mint state condition may fetch $10 to $30. Modern error coins or notable varieties can be considerably more valuable. Doubled die obverse, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and repunched mint marks from this year have attracted serious collector interest. A rare 1993 D doubled die, for instance, could sell for hundreds of dollars depending on grade and visual appeal. Errors and varieties for the 1993 D Lincoln penny make it particularly exciting to collectors. Double dies are the most sought after, where the date or inscriptions appear doubled due to misalignment during die creation. Off-center strikes produce visually striking coins where part of the design is missing, and clipped planchets create coins with missing segments of metal. Other anomalies, such as die cracks or die polishing lines, add collectible value. Modern collectors also often seek full bands, where the horizontal lines on the Lincoln Memorial appear sharp and fully separated, signifying high-quality strikes. Collector interest in the 1993 D Lincoln penny is driven by both accessibility and the challenge of finding high-grade or error specimens. For beginners, circulated coins are affordable and easy to acquire. For advanced collectors, uncirculated examples or rare errors from this year offer the thrill of completing a modern Lincoln penny set with standout pieces. The coin reflects mid-1990s minting standards and provides a tangible connection to a time when coin collecting began to embrace both modern coins and historic varieties. In summary, the 1993 D Lincoln penny 1 cent coin is a collector's delight. Its combination of historical relevance, potential for high-grade uncirculated examples, and the presence of interesting errors makes it a versatile coin. Whether you're starting a modern Lincoln penny collection or hunting for rare error specimens, the 1993 D provides an excellent balance of accessibility, historical context, and numismatic intrigue. 1996 Lincoln penny 1 cent coin. The 1996 Lincoln penny is another key coin for collectors, minted at both Philadelphia and Denver, with or without a mint mark depending on origin. This coin is part of the Lincoln Memorial series and represents a period when modern minting had reached high precision, yet collector interest in errors and high-quality coins was increasing dramatically. The 1996 issue is particularly attractive because it exhibits subtle variations in strikes and occasionally features notable errors, making it a must-have for both casual and advanced numismatists. The obverse features the classic Lincoln portrait by Victor David Brenner. Even after nearly 9 decades since its introduction, the design retained its dignified and realistic appearance. Lincoln's cheekbones, hair strands, and facial features remain finely detailed. Collectors focus on the clarity of the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date, 1996, as these can be impacted by strike quality or die wear. Minor differences in letter thickness, alignment, or doubling can elevate the coin from a common circulated piece to a collectible rarity. The reverse continues the Lincoln Memorial design. The memorial's columns, steps, and the statue of Lincoln are carefully detailed, with the inscriptions "United States of America" and 1 cent completing the design. Collectors examine these areas closely, particularly for die cracks, doubling, or other minting anomalies. Coins with strong detail on the memorial columns, steps, and statue are highly valued, as these often indicate superior strike quality or full bands on the steps, a key feature for Lincoln Memorial pennies among modern coin enthusiasts. Mintage for the 1996 Lincoln penny is extremely high, with billions of coins produced between the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Despite this, high-grade uncirculated examples are relatively rare due to extensive circulation. Coins with original mint luster or sharp full bands are highly desirable and can command premium prices compared to average circulated examples. The 1996 penny is often collected alongside other mid-1990s Lincoln pennies to complete sets, particularly for those seeking full mint quality examples. Market value varies widely. Circulated 1996 pennies typically sell for a few cents. Coins in extremely fine or uncirculated condition range from $1 to $20. Error coins or high-grade uncirculated specimens can significantly exceed this range. Notable errors from 1996 include double die obverse, off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, and die cracks. Coins exhibiting full bands on the Lincoln Memorial steps, indicating a fully struck reverse, are particularly prized and can fetch higher values in the collector market. Errors and varieties make the 1996 Lincoln penny highly collectible. Double die obverse remain a key focus, with the date or lettering appearing doubled due to die misalignment. Off-center strikes and clipped planchets create visually striking anomalies. Die cracks and other minor minting irregularities also attract collectors who specialize in modern Lincoln pennies. Coins that combine high strike quality with one or more errors are particularly sought after and can become centerpiece items in modern collections. Collector interest in the 1996 Lincoln penny is strong due to its balance of accessibility and potential for high-grade or error examples. Beginners can easily acquire circulated coins for little cost, while advanced collectors focus on pristine examples, full bands, or error varieties. The coin also holds historical value as a representation of U.S. coinage in the mid-1990s, a period when modern minting techniques were well established, and the Lincoln Memorial series was still in widespread circulation. In conclusion, the 1996 Lincoln penny 1 cent coin is a versatile collector's coin. Its combination of design, historical significance, and potential for error varieties makes it a rewarding addition to any Lincoln penny collection. Whether you're aiming to build a modern Lincoln set, collect high-grade uncirculated coins, or pursue rare mint anomalies, the 1996 penny provides a balance of accessibility, challenge, and numismatic interest. For collectors of all levels, it represents both history and opportunity in a single small but significant coin. 1997 Lincoln penny 1 cent coin. The 1997 Lincoln penny is a noteworthy example of modern U.S. coinage, continuing the long-running Lincoln Memorial series that spanned from 1959 to 2008. Minted primarily at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, this penny represents a period when coin collecting had grown into a serious hobby, with collectors paying close attention not only to the coin's design and condition, but also to subtle minting errors and varieties. Though a common coin in everyday circulation, the 1997 Lincoln penny holds considerable interest for collectors because uncirculated specimens, full band examples, and error coins are increasingly scarce in the marketplace. On the obverse, the 1997 Lincoln penny features the enduring portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909. Despite being nearly 9 decades old at this point, the design maintained its classic, dignified aesthetic. Lincoln's profile is finely detailed, with defined hair strands, a prominent cheekbone, and a solemn expression that conveys the gravitas of the 16th president. The inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date, 1997, are clear and precise on well-struck examples. Collectors closely examine the obverse for sharpness of the strike, centering of the design, and any anomalies such as doubling, die cracks, or repunched mint marks. Even minor variations in the appearance of the date or lettering can significantly impact a coin's value in the collector market. The reverse of the coin continues the iconic Lincoln Memorial design, which replaced the wheat ear reverse in 1959. The memorial is intricately rendered, with its columns, steps, and the small statue of Lincoln in the center visible upon close inspection. The inscriptions "United States of America" and 1 cent frame the design. Collectors often focus on the clarity of the lines in the columns, the steps, and the statue, as well as the crispness of the lettering, when assessing a coin's grade or identifying potential error coins. Coins exhibiting full bands on the memorial steps, where each horizontal line is fully separated and well-defined, are particularly sought after by collectors, as these indicate a strong, high-quality strike from the mint. Mintage numbers for the 1997 Lincoln penny are extremely high. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 5.6 billion coins, while the Denver Mint contributed approximately 2.3 billion, resulting in billions of coins entering circulation. Despite the large mintage, most circulated pennies show wear, scratches, or loss of luster due to everyday use, making uncirculated or near-mint examples more valuable and increasingly rare. Coins preserved in pristine condition or with original mint luster are prized among collectors who focus on modern Lincoln penny sets, as they represent the pinnacle of production quality for that year. Market value for the 1997 Lincoln penny depends heavily on condition, mint mark, and whether any notable errors are present. Circulated coins are typically worth just a few cents, making them accessible for beginner collectors. Coins in extremely fine or uncirculated condition can range from $1 to $20, depending on eye appeal and surface preservation. Modern errors and varieties, however, can dramatically increase value. Doubled die obverse, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, or repunched mint marks can sell for hundreds of dollars in auction settings, particularly when combined with strong strike quality or full bands on the reverse. Errors and varieties for the 1997 Lincoln penny are a primary reason collectors remain interested in this coin. Doubled dies occur when the design is inadvertently duplicated on the die, producing a distinct doubling effect on the date or lettering. Off-center strikes produce coins with partial designs, while clipped planchets result in missing segments of the coin's metal. Die cracks and die clashes, though minor, also attract collectors who specialize in modern Lincoln pennies. Coins that combine error characteristics with high strike quality or full bands are considered especially desirable and can become the centerpiece of a collection. Collector interest in the 1997 Lincoln penny is driven by its combination of accessibility, modern design, and potential for high-value anomalies. Beginners can easily acquire circulated examples for pennies, while advanced collectors focus on uncirculated specimens, full bands, and error coins to enhance their collections. The coin also represents the late 20th century in U.S. minting, a period of refined production techniques and increased attention to detail. For collectors aiming to complete a modern Lincoln Memorial penny set, the 1997 issue is an essential piece, particularly for Denver and Philadelphia mint-specific collections. In conclusion, the 1997 Lincoln penny 1 cent coin is a versatile and collectible coin. It embodies historical significance, precision minting, and potential for valuable error varieties. From circulated everyday examples to high-grade uncirculated coins with full bands or mint anomalies, the 1997 penny offers something for collectors of all levels. Whether you're seeking to complete a Lincoln penny set, study modern minting errors, or acquire a high-quality specimen for investment, the 1997 Lincoln penny is a coin that combines history, artistry, and collector appeal in one small but enduring package. And there you have it, the top 5 rarest and most valuable Lincoln pennies, from the 1990 all the way to the 1997 Lincoln penny. Each coin tells a story, capturing not just the likeness of Abraham Lincoln, but decades of U.S. history, minting artistry, and collector fascination. Whether it's a high-grade uncirculated coin, a rare mint error, or a full-band memorial penny, these 1-cent coins prove that even the smallest denominations can hold incredible value and history. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Lincoln pennies, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another numismatic treasure from Coins Numismatic series. Share your favorite Lincoln penny, your rare finds, or questions about collecting in the comments. We love hearing about your collections. Remember, every penny has a story, every error tells a secret, and every collector has a journey. Keep exploring, keep collecting, and keep the history alive, one coin at a time.